Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of our English Learning Podcast. I am Emma, and I am so happy that you are here with us today. Whether you are listening while drinking your morning coffee, taking a walk, relaxing at home, traveling to work, or simply enjoying a quiet moment, thank you for spending your time with us. We know that learning English can sometimes feel difficult and even frustrating. But remember that every small step you take today will help you become more confident tomorrow. So please relax, listen carefully, and enjoy this conversation with us.
Hi everyone, this is Alex, and today's topic is one of the most interesting questions that English learners ask. Many people say, I know English grammar, I know vocabulary, I understand some videos and podcasts. But when I want to speak, my brain starts translating everything into my native language. How can I stop translating and start thinking in English naturally? If you have ever asked yourself that question, then today's episode is especially for you.
Exactly, Alex. And I think almost every language learner experiences this problem. I remember when I was learning French. Every sentence inside my head went through English first. I wanted to speak quickly, but my mind was busy translating each word. Sometimes I became tired because speaking felt like solving a difficult puzzle. But after some time, I discovered something very important. Thinking in another language is not magic. It is not a talent that only some people have. It is simply a habit that your brain develops through practice and repetition.
That's right. And the beautiful thing is that you do not need to move to another country to think in English. You do not need expensive courses or special secrets. You only need patience, consistency, and simple daily habits. So today we are going to have a relaxed conversation and share practical ways that can help your brain become more comfortable with English. Our goal is not perfection. Our goal is natural communication.
Alex, do you remember when you first started learning another language?
Oh yes, absolutely. I remember trying to speak Spanish many years ago. Every sentence took forever. If someone asked me a simple question, I first thought in English, then translated it into Spanish, and then I worried about grammar. By the time I answered, the conversation had already moved on.
That happens to so many people. And honestly, there is nothing wrong with that. Translation is normal in the beginning because your brain is creating new connections. Think about learning to ride a bicycle. At first, you move slowly and carefully. You are afraid of falling. But after weeks and months of practice, riding becomes automatic. You do not think about balancing anymore. Your body simply knows what to do.
Language works in the same way. In the beginning, translation acts like training wheels on a bicycle. But eventually, you need to remove those training wheels and let your brain create direct connections between English words and their meanings.
Exactly. For example, when you hear the word apple, you should imagine a beautiful red apple. You should not first translate the word into another language. Your brain should connect the English word directly to the image of an apple. That is how children learn language naturally.
Children do not study grammar books before speaking. They hear words repeatedly. They connect words with experiences. When they hear the word water, they see water. When they hear dog, they see a dog. Slowly, their brains create natural connections without translation.
And adults can do exactly the same thing. The brain is amazing. It can learn new habits at any age.
Start with very simple thoughts. One mistake that many learners make is trying to think complicated thoughts immediately. They want to discuss science, politics, or philosophy in English even though they are still learning basic vocabulary.
Yes, and that often creates stress. Thinking in English should begin with very simple ideas. Imagine that you wake up in the morning. Instead of using your native language inside your mind, You can gently switch to English. You can say, I am awake now. I still feel sleepy. I need to get out of bed. The weather looks nice today. I hope today will be a good day. I need to brush my teeth. I think I will make some coffee. These are simple thoughts, but they are powerful because they train your brain.
I do something similar when I walk outside. I look around and describe everything I see. The sky is blue. There are many people on the street. I can hear birds singing. That little dog looks cute. I think it might rain later. The air feels fresh. There are beautiful flowers near the road. These simple observations help create natural English thinking.
And the best part is that nobody knows what you are thinking. You can make mistakes and nobody will judge you. This is your private English classroom.
Talk to yourself every day. Emma, do you ever talk to yourself?
All the time, Alex.
Really?
Of course. Sometimes people think talking to yourself is strange, but language learners know it is one of the best exercises. For example, while cooking dinner, I might say, first, I need to wash the vegetables. I should cut these tomatoes carefully. I hope this soup tastes delicious. I think I need more salt. The kitchen smells wonderful. I am really hungry now. I cannot wait to eat. These sentences are simple, but they create speaking habits.
I do the same thing when cleaning my room. This room is messy. I need to organize my desk. I should put these books on the shelf. I forgot to wash my clothes yesterday. I need to vacuum the floor. Everything looks much cleaner now. And honestly, this habit has helped me speak English more naturally because I practice every day.
Sometimes I even ask myself questions. What should I do this afternoon? Should I watch a movie or read a book? What do I want for dinner? Then I answer myself. I think I will watch a comedy movie. Maybe I should call my friend. I want pasta tonight. This creates a real conversation inside your mind.
Surround yourself with English. One thing that changed my learning journey was surrounding myself with English every day. I realized that if I spent 10 hours listening to my native language and only 10 minutes listening to English, my brain would naturally choose my native language.
That is very true. Your brain becomes familiar with whatever you hear most often. So if you want your brain to think in English, you need to give it more English. Listen to podcasts while walking. Watch YouTube videos in English. Read simple stories. Listen to English songs. Change your phone settings to English. Follow English-speaking creators. Read subtitles in English instead of your native language. All these small activities create an English environment around you.
People often think they need 5 hours every day to improve. But even 30 minutes of consistent listening can create amazing progress over time.
Stop trying to be perfect. Alex, I think one of the biggest problems learners have is perfectionism.
Absolutely. People are afraid of making mistakes. They want every sentence to be perfect.
But perfection can become your enemy. Imagine a child learning to walk. Do parents expect perfect walking on the first day? Of course not. Children fall down. They stand up again. They try again. And eventually they walk naturally. Speaking English is exactly the same.
Native speakers also make mistakes. Sometimes they forget words. Sometimes they use the wrong expressions. Nobody speaks perfectly all the time. The goal is communication, not perfection.
Think with images, not translations. Another powerful method is using images. When you hear the word beach, imagine waves, sand, sunshine, and the sound of the ocean. When you hear the word coffee, imagine the smell and warmth of a cup of coffee. When you hear the word mountain, Imagine beautiful green hills and fresh air. This method helps your brain understand English directly without translation.
That is why flashcards with pictures are very effective. Images are universal. They connect language with experience.
Be patient with yourself. Many learners become disappointed because they expect fast results. They ask, "Why am I still translating after 1 month? Why can I understand but not speak? Why is this taking so long?" But language learning is a journey.
Exactly. Think about planting a tree. You do not plant a seed today and expect a giant tree tomorrow. You water it every day. You give it sunlight. You protect it. And slowly it grows. Your English grows in the same way. One day, without realizing it, you will understand a sentence immediately. One day, you will answer a question naturally. One day, you will dream in English. And you will smile because you realize that your brain has changed.
Dear friends, remember that thinking in English is not something that happens overnight. It is a beautiful process. Start with simple thoughts. Talk to yourself. Listen to English every day. Use images instead of translation. And most importantly, be patient and kind to yourself.
Every sentence you hear, every podcast you listen to, every new word you learn, and every mistake you make is helping your brain become stronger. Progress may feel slow sometimes, but slow progress is still progress.
Before we finish today's episode, Alex, I would like to share a beautiful story with our listeners. It is a story about a woman named Sarah. I think many English learners will see themselves in her journey because she experienced the same struggles that almost everyone faces when learning a new language. Sarah lived in a small town and had a dream. She wanted to speak English confidently and communicate naturally with people around the world. Every day, she watched English videos, listened to podcasts, and studied vocabulary. She knew hundreds of words and understood grammar quite well, but there was one problem. Whenever she wanted to speak, her brain became slow because she translated every sentence from her native language into English. She often became frustrated. Sometimes she knew exactly what she wanted to say, but by the time she finished translating the sentence in her head, the conversation had already moved on. This made her feel disappointed. She started thinking that maybe she was not talented enough to learn English. One evening, after another difficult study session, Sarah closed her notebook and said to herself, "Why is this so hard? Why can't I think in English like native speakers?" At that moment, she remembered something she had heard in an English podcast. The speaker said, "Thinking in English is not magic. It is a habit. Start with simple thoughts." Those words stayed in her mind. The next morning, Sarah decided to try something different. When she woke up, she looked at the ceiling and quietly said to herself in English, "Good morning. I feel sleepy. I need to get out of bed. The weather looks beautiful today. I think I will make some coffee." They were simple sentences, but they felt strange because she had never spoken to herself in English before. Later, while brushing her teeth, she continued, "I need to buy toothpaste soon. I should drink more water. I have a busy day today." While preparing breakfast, she talked to herself again. "This bread smells wonderful. I think I need more milk. I hope today will be a good day." At first, everything felt slow. She made mistakes and forgot words. Sometimes she switched back to her native language without realizing it. But she didn't give up. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. Slowly, something amazing started happening. One afternoon, Sarah was walking in the park. The sun was shining, birds were singing, and children were playing nearby. Suddenly, she noticed something surprising. Without trying, her mind said, "What a beautiful day." She stopped walking. She smiled. Then another thought appeared naturally. The flowers look beautiful. There are many people enjoying the weather. I should come here again tomorrow. For the first time, she realized that she had not translated those thoughts. They appeared directly in English. She felt excited. She felt proud. But the biggest surprise came several months later. One night, Sarah had a dream. In the dream, she was talking to people from different countries. They were laughing together and sharing stories. Everyone spoke English, including Sarah. When she woke up in the morning, she sat up in bed with wide eyes. She smiled and laughed quietly. "I dreamed in English," she whispered. It was a small moment, but to her it felt like a miracle. Months later, Sarah joined an online English conversation group. In the beginning, she was nervous. Her hands trembled slightly. Her heart beat faster. But something had changed inside her. When someone asked her a question, she didn't spend 10 seconds translating. She simply answered. Not perfectly. Not like a native speaker. But naturally. And for the first time, speaking English felt enjoyable instead of stressful. After the meeting, one of the participants said, "Sarah, your English is very clear. How long have you lived in an English-speaking country?" Sarah laughed. "I've never lived abroad," she answered. "I just practice every day." Years later, Sarah became an English teacher. She often met students who were frustrated because they still translated everything in their heads. Whenever someone said, "I think my brain isn't good enough for English," Sarah would smile warmly and say, "No, my friend. Your brain is wonderful. It just needs time. Don't rush. Don't compare yourself with others. One day, you will suddenly realize that English is no longer something you translate. It will become something you feel." And every time she said those words, she remembered the girl who once sat alone at her kitchen table, feeling frustrated and ready to give up. She was grateful that she didn't, because she learned one very important lesson. Language is not learned in one day. Fluency is not created in 1 week. Thinking in English is not a talent. It is the result of thousands of small moments, thousands of simple thoughts, and thousands of times choosing not to quit. And maybe, dear listener, your story is just beginning. Perhaps one day, months from now, or maybe years from now, you will wake up with a smile and say, "Wow, I'm thinking in English." And on that day, you will realize that all those small steps, all those podcasts, all those mistakes, and all those moments when you wanted to give up were actually leading you to something beautiful.
What a beautiful story, Emma. And I hope everyone listening right now remembers this. Don't worry about how fast other people are improving. Just continue your journey. Progress is not always visible, but every day your brain is learning.
Exactly, Alex. Trust the process, enjoy the journey, and never stop believing in yourself. Your English story is still being written, and the best chapters may be waiting just ahead. Red Heart.